Camilla will be called the Mistress for the rest of her life. Not by tabloids, not by trolls, by history, by the official record, by the children who weren't born when Diana died. The palace spent 20 years trying to bury that word. 15 reasons say it didn't work. 15 reasons, 15 receipts, 15 times the label came back stronger. Diana named her on television in 1995. Charles confessed to it on television in 1994. The BBC apologized for doubting Diana in 2021. And every documentary since has used the same word. Diana's shadow grows longer every year. Her son is taking the monarchy. The label is permanent now. Reason 1 is the tape Camilla wishes never existed. Reason 10 is the 10 minutes that broke Diana. Reason 15 is what school children will be taught in 50 years. Let's count them down. Number 1, the Tampongate Tape that will never disappear. December 18, 1989. Charles called Camilla from a friend's house in Cheshire. The call lasted 6 minutes. Someone with a radio scanner intercepted it. 3 years later, in January 1993, the Sunday People and the Sunday Mirror published the transcript. The country read every word. Charles told Camilla he wanted to live inside her trousers. The tape became known as Tampongate. The phrase entered British vocabulary. Diana was alive. The boys were 7 and 4. The conversation didn't sound like two people in love. It sounded like two adults in a long, comfortable affair, with running jokes and casual references to where they'd meet next. The Sunday People received over 60,000 calls in the first week. The story ran on the front page of the British tabloids for 10 consecutive days. You can't uncreate that recording. It exists. It is searchable. It is replayable. Every state event Charles and Camilla attend, someone in the country remembers what was on that tape. The royal family spent 30 years trying to bury it. The internet won't let them. That tape is the sound of a mistress. Number 2, the G and F Bracelet. Charles gave her before the wedding, July 1981. 2 days before Charles married Diana at St. Paul S. He gave Camilla a gold bracelet, engraved with 2 letters, G and F, Gladys and Fred, their private nicknames for each other. Andrew Morton wrote about it in 1992 in Diana, Her True Story. Diana found out. She confronted Charles. The wedding went ahead anyway. Charles bought his future wife the engagement ring. He bought his mistress the keepsake. The keepsake came first. 20-year-old Diana stood at the altar at St. Paul's while 750 million people watched. She knew about the bracelet. She walked down the aisle anyway. Diana later told Morton she nearly called the wedding off. Her sisters told her she couldn't. The country had already decided this was happening. Diana married a man who was, by every measure, already taken. That moment defined the marriage before it began. And the woman wearing the bracelet was the mistress. She still is. Number 3, the mistress's family was inside Diana's wedding. Most viewers have never been told what actually happened on July 29, 1981. Diana walked down the aisle of St. Paul's past Camilla Parker Bowles, sitting in a pale gray pillbox hat and a veil. Diana described it in Morton's tapes. I knew she was in there. Walking down the aisle, I spotted Camilla. Pale gray, veiled pillbox hat. Her son Tom standing on a chair. Camilla's son Tom was at the wedding. Charles had wanted Tom in the wedding party as a page boy. Diana vetoed it. Tom watched from a chair instead. Then there was Andrew. Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Parker Bowles commanded the ceremonial escort that rode beside Charles and Diana's carriage. You can hear it on the original BBC broadcast. The escort, under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Parker Bowles. Diana's husband put his mistress's husband in charge of security at his own wedding. The mistress sat in the pew. The mistress's son stood on a chair. The mistress's husband rode beside the carriage. The entire Parker Bowles family was inside Diana's wedding. Diana married into the affair. That isn't a husband who fell. That's a mistress already installed. Number 4, Charles was asked if he loved Diana. His answer was about Camilla, February 24, 1981. Charles and Diana sat for their engagement interview. The reporter asked the obvious question, "Are you in love?" Diana answered first. "Of course." Charles paused. Then he said it. "Whatever in love means." Diana stood next to him. The country watched it live. Decades later, journalists would call it the most revealing 4 words ever spoken on royal television. Charles wasn't talking about Diana. He was talking about the woman he couldn't have. He was talking about Camilla. The day his engagement to Diana was announced, Charles publicly admitted he didn't know what love meant, because the only love he understood belonged to someone else. That's what a mistress does to a man. She becomes the only love he's capable of. She ruins every other relationship he tries. Camilla did exactly that to Diana on television in 1981. Number 5, Patricia Mountbatten said the quiet part out loud. Patricia Mountbatten was Charles's cousin, daughter of Lord Mountbatten, the man who effectively raised him. She knew Charles better than anyone in the royal inner circle. In 2005, the year Charles finally married Camilla, Patricia gave an interview. She said Charles should have married Camilla when he first had the chance. Then she said the line that mattered most. It wouldn't have been possible. Not then. Not then. Because Camilla wasn't suitable. Because the palace wouldn't allow it. Because Camilla was the wrong woman, in the wrong class, with the wrong past. Charles needed a virgin. The future Princess of Wales had to come to her wedding without a single rumor attached. So, the palace looked elsewhere. The palace's own family member confirmed what everyone suspected. Diana was the marriage Charles took. Camilla was the marriage Charles wanted. She wasn't good enough to be the wife in 1971. She was good enough to be the mistress instead. For 30 years, while Diana raised William and Harry alone. Stop for a second. Picture Diana, 20 years old, walking down the aisle at St. Paul S. She already knew about the bracelet. She had heard about the phone calls. She had been told she was the marriage Charles took, not the one he wanted. She walked down anyway. The next reasons are the system that put her there. Number 6, she had a husband. The whole time. Here's the part most people forget. Camilla was married to Andrew Parker Bowles from 1973 until 1995. 22 years. The entire time she was sleeping with Charles, she was somebody else's wife. Andrew knew. Half of London knew. The arrangement was an open secret for years before the public found out. Camilla had Charles. Andrew had his own affairs, including a long one with Princess Anne. The Parker Bowles marriage was a cover story, a respectable address, a way for Camilla to keep doing what she was doing without being called the word the country has used ever since. This wasn't a woman who fell in love with the wrong man. This was a woman who arranged her life around being available to Charles while looking respectable to everyone else. She kept the husband as camouflage. A wife who fell in love would have left her marriage. A mistress doesn't leave. A mistress stays married to the man who provides cover, while sleeping with the man who provides the dream. Camilla stayed married. The cover is gone. The word is what's left. Number 7, Diana watched the affair in real time, on the phone. Diana didn't find out about Camilla once. She found out hundreds of times, slowly, over years, by accident, on her own phone. Inside Kensington Palace, Diana would pick up an extension and hear Charles on the line, talking to Camilla, pet names, casual references to where they'd meet next, the voice he never used with her. Diana told Andrew Morton about it on tape in 1991. She kept track. She knew when the calls happened. She knew when they were planning to meet. By the end of the marriage, Diana knew more about her husband's mistress than her husband knew about her. You don't grieve a marriage all at once. You grieve it leak by leak. Every time the phone clicked into another conversation, another piece of Diana died, while she was raising William and Harry. The mistress on the other end of those calls is still alive. The wife who heard them isn't. The country remembers whose voice it was. Number 8, Harry called her the villain. January 10th, 2023. Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, hit shelves. It sold 1.43 million English-language copies on the first day. A British publishing record. Inside the book, Harry called Camilla the villain. He described her in the words of 2 boys watching their mother fall apart as the woman who broke their family. Harry told the story of the affair from the inside, from the school pickups, from the nights Diana cried herself to sleep. This came from Charles's own son. Charles couldn't publicly contradict him. The palace tried to ignore the book. It sold 1.5 million copies in 24 hours. For 30 years, the palace pushed back on Diana's account, said she was unreliable, said she exaggerated. Then her son wrote a book, and he confirmed every line of it. The mistress is the villain. Charles's own son said so. Camilla can't unsay it. Stop again, Diana is still 36 years old. Forever, frozen on a Paris pavement on August 31st, 1997. Camilla has aged 28 years since then. Diana has not. The next 3 reasons are what the world said about that. Number 9. The brothers stood up and named them in Westminster Abbey, September 6th, 1997, Diana's funeral. Earl Spencer, Diana's brother, walked to the lectern at Westminster Abbey. 2 boys in the front row who had just lost their mother. The royal family sitting 6 feet from him. He looked at the boys. Then he said the words that broke the family. He called Diana the most hunted person of the modern age. He promised her sons, in front of 2.5 billion people watching globally, that the Spencer family would help raise them, so that their souls are not simply immersed by duty and tradition. Then he said it again, looking directly at the royals in the pew opposite. If you were alive that day, you remember what happened next. The country watching at home started clapping. The people outside the abbey started clapping. Then the applause moved inside. The royal family sat in silence while their own people applauded an attack on them at a funeral. Camilla was not at the funeral. She watched it on television. Earl Spencer named what they had done. The country agreed. The brother spoke for the country. The country has not changed its mind. Number 10. The 10 minutes after Diana left Highgrove. This is the detail that broke Diana, and almost no one knows it. Charles bought Highgrove in 1980, a country house in Gloucestershire, 11 miles from where Camilla lived with Andrew Parker Bowles. Diana would drive to Highgrove on weekends with William and Harry. They'd play happy families. Charles would argue with her. By Sunday afternoon, Diana would pack the boys back into the car and drive away. Diana's butler, Paul Burrell, described what happened next. Diana would leave the front drive. 10 minutes later, Camilla would arrive at the back drive. 10 minutes. Diana would barely have reached the main road. Camilla would already be at the kitchen door of the house Diana had just left. Diana called Highgrove a return to prison in Morton's tapes. Her friend James Gilby explained why. She feels that Camilla lives just down the road, and regardless of any effort she puts into the house, she never feels it is her home. It wasn't her home. The mistress was already living there in shifts, every weekend for years. A wife shares the house. A mistress takes the house 10 minutes after the wife leaves. Number 11. The Queen told Charles to give her up. He refused. This is the moment most people don't know about, and it changes everything that came after. After Diana's 1995 Panorama interview, Queen Elizabeth II called her son in. 23 million Britons had just watched Diana name Camilla on national television. The monarchy was in crisis. The Queen told Charles to end the affair, to choose the throne and his sons over the woman who had broken his marriage. Tom Bower wrote about it in 2018. Andrew Morton confirmed it in 2022. Penny Unor wrote that the Queen wanted her gone before Diana's death and felt no differently after it. Charles refused. He chose Camilla over the monarchy, over the boys' chance to grow up without their mother's humiliation in the newspapers. The Queen banned Camilla from royal events for years. She reportedly called her that wicked woman. Charles kept going. When the Queen of England told her heir to stop, he chose the mistress. That isn't a man who fell. That's a man who picked her every time, against his mother, against his sons, against the institution he was born to lead. That is what a mistress is. The woman a man chooses against everyone who matters. The Queen is gone. The choice remains. Number 12, the press named her the Rottweiler. In the 1990s, the British press settled on a nickname, Camilla the Rottweiler. It wasn't affectionate. It wasn't kind. It wasn't a private joke. It was the British tabloids' verdict on the woman who had broken Diana's marriage. The nickname stuck through the affair, through Diana's death, through the long PR rehabilitation, through the wedding in 2005, through the coronation in 2023. Mark Bolland was hired in 1996 to clean up Camilla's public image. He shifted her approval rating from 20% to 75% in a few years. He could not erase the word. You can rebrand a person. You cannot rebrand the verdict the country reached when its princess was alive. The Rottweiler. The press chose it. The press kept it. And the press is still using it. 20 years after the marriage, the mistress earned that name. One more time. Diana once said she wanted to be a queen of people's hearts. She got her wish. 28 years gone, and she is still the most photographed royal of the modern era. The woman she named on television has never said her name back. Watch what that silence looks like. Number 13. She has never apologized. Not once. Not ever. In 28 years, here is what Camilla has never said. She has never publicly acknowledged Diana by name. She has never expressed regret about the affair. She has never apologized to William and Harry. She has never visited Diana's grave at Althorpe, not in 1997, when Diana died and the country went into shock. Not in 2005, when she married Charles. Not in 2011, when William married Catherine, and Diana was the absent ghost at the wedding. Not in 2023, when she was crowned queen and the cameras were waiting for any human acknowledgement of the woman she had replaced. Not once. A wife who fell in love would have said something. A wife who became queen would have used the platform to honor the woman who came before her. Camilla has said nothing. A wife addresses what happened. A mistress prays the country forgets. The country is still remembering. The silence is the confession. Number 14, Diana said it on national television, November 20th, 1995. Diana sat with Martin Bashir on BBC Panorama. 23 million Britons watched. Bashir asked her about the marriage. She gave the answer that defined the rest of the story. There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded. The country never forgot the line. The interview entered the record. It went into history books, school curricula, documentary films. Diana said it on tape. The third person was named. In the same interview, Diana spoke about her bulimia, her depression, her loneliness inside the marriage. She told the country she didn't see herself as queen, but as queen of people's hearts. She told 23 million people that Charles had been with another woman the entire time. The other woman had a name, Camilla. Charles cannot unsay it. Camilla cannot unsay it. The palace cannot unsay it. The 1995 Panorama interview is the most cited royal interview of the century. That sentence runs in every Diana documentary. It will run in Camilla's obituary. Number 15, the history books have already decided, forever. Here is the reason that will outlive everyone watching this video. Open Camilla's Wikipedia page right now. The affair with Charles is in the 3rd paragraph. Andrew Parker Bowles is named. Diana is named. The word mistress appears before her own children's names do. Any major royal biography since 1992. Same structure. Now think about what school children will be taught. In 50 years, when the boys are old men and William and Catherine are the elderly figures the next generation grew up with, the textbooks will not say King Charles III was deeply in love with his second wife. They will say King Charles III conducted a decades-long affair with the woman he later married, which destroyed his marriage to Diana Spencer. That is the historical record. That is what your grandchildren will be taught. Camilla can wear the crown. She cannot edit the encyclopedia. The palace tried for 30 years. The history books wrote her in anyway. One word will still be next to her name when nobody alive today is left to remember it. The mistress. Forever on the record. 15 reasons Camilla will never stop being the mistress. From the tape on national radio in 1989, to the brothers' eulogy at Westminster Abbey, to the encyclopedia entry her great-grandchildren will read. Camilla collected the titles. The country kept the verdict, and history is keeping it too. The day Charles dies is the day the wife loses the cover, and the mistress is left with the word. Click here to find out exactly how Camilla is finally getting what she deserves and why every single one of these 15 reasons becomes Camilla's reality the moment William walks into Buckingham Palace as king.